they had this town hall with Trump about 6 months ago, and it was, they took a lot of flack for it. But he was adored by the audience, who were Republicans, I guess, and independents. I think they said both. But whoever it was, they fucking loved him. And then the panel comes on after, and they do nothing but shit on Trump and what a liar is and this. And I'm like, okay. And as a viewer, I'm thinking, you know what? I fucking hate Trump.
Hello, everybody. We are back with Bill Maher on his podcast today, and his guest, as you can see, is noted filmmaker Oliver Stone, and they're talking about various things. But in this clip that we're going to take a look at today, they're basically talking about Trump. We know that Bill Maher, of course, can't stand Donald Trump, but we don't care. It makes his head explode. On the other hand, Bill Maher has problems with the Democrats and the woke, as he calls it. He thinks it's the woke that caused the Democrats to lose the last election. I think he's probably right about that, or certainly that explains part of it. Anyway, let's get into what Bill Maher and Oliver Stone are talking about, and I will hop in later with a few comments.
Ivermectin and whatever and the other things. So it's the law, the concept of authoritarian government that is really bothering me, and I think it bothers you. This
authoritarian, yes. Of course.
Biden saying, well, you know, we've got to take the vaccine, you know, and you have.
Yes, that's one form of it. I would say the form that Trump is threatening us with is even worse. And
which is what?
Well, I mean, he doesn't
the whole
concede elections. You know, the elections only count if we win.
Bill Maher just cannot get over the fact that Donald Trump refused to say he lost the 2020 election. I love it. He still lives rent-free in his head.
Theory of government?
Okay.
Well, come on, you know Trump he still has not conceded the election. He has not conceded. He does not honor the...
Okay, I mean, do you know for a fact that he lost? I'm just curious.
Okay. You're going to make me...
I just don't know all the facts because...
Well, I do. Is there a conspiracy theory you don't believe?
Oh, come on, Bill.
But Oliver,
you know I'm intelligent.
Intelligent, of course you are. But look, I've had many people sit here and I've said the same thing to them. Like, the key to getting along in America is not getting into these tribal things. It's understanding that you can have somebody in your life who you go, for A, B, C, and D, we are so aligned and the person is so smart and they really get it. And then E, each of you thinks the other one's crazy. And there's a couple of those with us. But we got A, B, C, and D. And so
we'll start with that.
Yes, that's got to be enough. You can't make people agree with you on these things. And you're right.
I'm just asking you. I'm not an expert on the election. I'm not a political junkie. You are, and you follow it very closely.
Okay, all right, then I'll give you the thumbnail sketch. They tried it in 60 courts. It was laughed out of every court, including by Republican judges. The people who saved this democracy were Republicans, good Republicans in states where Trump pressured them, like the one he's on trial for in Georgia, find me 11,000 votes. It's on tape. A guy like that saying to him, sir, we just don't do that here. I voted for you. I'm a Republican, but we just don't do that. That's what saved us. And they were Republicans. So you don't take their word for it. I mean, it would...
Well, I don't know. I mean, you went through the 2000 election. That was horrifying to me, what happened when the Supreme Court closed that down. You know, what happened there? I mean, you know, the popular vote was won by...
So what, should we just keep counting votes forever? I mean, should we still be counting the 20...
count them correctly. Let's just get rid of the Electoral College. Let's do a popular vote.
The people who have testified that this was a fair and well-run election, it's a who's who of people like Bill Barr, Mitch McConnell. You're talking about Liz Cheney. You're talking about dyed-in-the-wool, serious conservative Republicans who went with Trump really further out than a lot of us thought they would go with a guy like McCain's not a war hero. Okay, we'll forgive you. Lots of shit that he did, agreeing with Putin at Helsinki against our intelligence agencies, but I know we don't want to talk about Putin. But it's like, what will they... We found the thing that was their safe word, the thing that made them go, no, that's too far. And it was, we have elections in this country. If we don't transfer power peacefully, if somebody doesn't just be an adult and say, okay, you can't win them all, we lost that one, good luck, sir. When Obama became president, George Bush stood with him and he said, we want you to succeed. They don't do that anymore. Not that I love George Bush, but what a great moment. So,
What do you think happened in 2000 in Florida?
2000, well, they stopped the vote. Well, first of all, the governor's, the candidate's brother was the governor. And the lady counting the votes, remember Cruella
Catherine
de
Harris.
Vil.
Catherine Harris.
I remembered the name wrong. Cruella de Vil, but you're right, Catherine Harris. I mean, could there have been shenanigans? Look, there was shenanigans in the Nixon-Kennedy election on the side of the Democrats.
Yeah,
I mean,
always.
plainly, Joe Kennedy, right, brought that election for his son.
I reserve judgment because it was Chicago. It was the Illinois part more than the West Virginia part. And that was Daley, and he was the boss there. And Daley did his own policing and this. But actually, I think Kennedy won the election. I really don't.
Wow.
That one is it's tight. But what I'm saying is
the one that's the easiest to get on board with. You're like, no, that's I need all the facts on this.
well, I don't know the facts, and I think I would trust the accountants more than the politicians. And I'd like to know what the accountants say, the guys who vote, who know the most about votes, who do the electoral commissions. You know, I can't take Biden's word for it on anything.
It's not his word. It's the Electoral Commission. It's Trump's own election security guy who said this was the most fair, well-run election that we've had ever.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, if there's nothing that can be said or argued that would convince you,
I think what shocked people was
then
that
it's called a closed
Trump
mind.
got so many votes. You know, that was what was shocking, that he did so well compared to what he was expected to do.
Right.
Because we believed
then
all
why don't you believe
East
he could
Coast,
have lost?
we believed all the East Coast, the media elite, that he was going to fail, and boom.
Yes.
They were wrong. We would love to see them being wrong, don't we? The media elite. Because they really
they're wrong
hated.
a lot,
They went
yeah.
too far in hating, in dumping on Trump, and people don't like that in America.
You're
They
right.
don't like dumping on.
You're right.
And they did it too much.
Well, yes, I was actually having this discussion about the CNN network recently, and you know, I want there to be a CNN in the world. You know, something that I used to be able to count on them, and I still do some.
What a joke.
Some of it to just give it to me straight, Doc. Just give me the news. And you know, they had this town hall with Trump about 6 months ago, and it was they took a lot of flack for it, but he was adored by the audience, who were Republicans, I guess, and independents. I think they said both, but whoever it was, they fucking loved him. And then the panel comes on after, and they do nothing but shit on Trump and what a liar is, and this. I'm like, okay. And as a viewer, I'm thinking, you know what? I fucking hate Trump. I know he's a liar, but this is boring. First of all, we know it. And you're not trying to get at what I think would get a better audience for you.
So there you have it. It seems like Oliver Stone's pretty based, if you ask me. At least he sees reality, perhaps a lot more. I mean, Bill Maher says he does too. You know, they're both moaning about the media elite, the liberal Democratic media elite, who, you know, the MSNBCs, the CNNs, and so on, the Washington Post, New York Times, all that, who just couldn't believe in 2016 that someone like Donald Trump could win, and who were against him from day one and are still against him today. But I like Oliver Stone's style, actually. He takes nothing for granted. Bill Maher seems to be more set in his beliefs. You know, who knows? You know, who knows? But it's interesting, and the fact that, you know, he still just can't get over the fact Donald Trump has refused to concede the election in 2020. Well, so be it. He stepped down. You know, if he really was against a peaceful transfer of power, he wouldn't have stepped down. He would have barricaded himself in the Oval Office and said, "Come and get me," or something like that. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to see. It kind of reminds me of this latest election, November 2024. It seemed very strange afterwards how all the liberals didn't contest it. They didn't contest Trump's victory. And, you know, by the way, on Reddit, there's a hilarious subreddit called Something Is Wrong 2024, I think it's called, where they are convinced that Trump stole the election and that Kamala Harris, they were convinced until the inauguration that Kamala Harris was going to pull out some last minute legal maneuver to oust Trump because he stole the election and all this. And I don't know what they're doing now. They're crazy on that thing, but it does make for fun reading from time to time. Anyway, enough of my rambling about Bill Maher. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oliver Stone seems pretty cool. Seems pretty based. Seems pretty like he's got his feet on the ground. He doesn't have his head in the clouds. And I will see you in the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon.